2, 3, clap, clap, clap. Hell yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wicked Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Bowden. With me, as always, is Frank Gazzero
Hello.
and Katie Arroyo.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Katie?
Wow, so good.
You sound fucking great. Frank, how are you today?
I am spectacular.
Yeah, Frank's been spectacular. Katie, I'm very concerned about you lately.
Yeah,
I
because I'm
feel like
pulling, or what is it called? So I didn't even remember the phrase. Stretching myself too thin.
you are.
Yeah.
I'm very stressed about the workload you're taking on.
Yeah.
You sent me very concerning text about how busy you've been and everything you've been doing, and I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah. I mean, I did spend Sunday. I did nothing except we drove back from Poughkeepsie to our house, and then I literally did nothing from like noon to 5. I took like 2 naps. I just like read a little and basically did absolutely nothing. But then of course at 5 o'clock I was like, you should probably do a little something. So I like took a shower, made lunch for the week, made dinner, did a little bit of stuff. But yeah,
You had what I like to call a shutdown Saturday.
yeah.
It's a shut. Look at you. You're yawning now, Katie.
I know. Well, you know
You're
what happened
so
was
tired.
my day job is very stressful right now, and I am like not getting lunch breaks now, or like I'll like.
How is that legal?
It's not legal, but it's also like some of my days, the whole day is a lunch break. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna like submit a slip for like 2 bad weeks when I know I've had like 2 weeks where it's been like easy all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those
Yeah.
things. I'm that kind of employee.
But you got to take the good with the bad, you know?
Yeah, like
You gotta
I will
bite the
say
bullet.
I ended up like I think it was Thursday. It had been like 9 days in a row of like not getting more than like 10 minutes. And it's just like you feel bad because people need stuff. So it's not like they're not like disrespecting my time. They're just like, I need help. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll help you. So
Yeah.
I ended up just like leaving. Like I was like, I'm leaving. Don't fucking talk. I was like, nobody talk to me. I'm going away. And I like said that to them. And
That's
then
pretty
literally my boss was like, I have to talk. She's like, are you around? And I was just like in a secret room, like in an exam room. And I go,
Oh my God! You have a desensitization room?
yeah, we
You
have
go
like
get
secret.
desensitized?
I did. I needed to like leave. And I just go, ooh, would love to help you, but I'm on lunch right now. And she was like, no worries. Because like I think she also like if she knew it had been that many days, I think she would have been like, what are you like, give me some slips to get paid overtime at the very least. But it's just been like very chaotic. So hopefully that settles down.
There are times when I have stopped, like I didn't have anything to do, you know, and this is going back a couple years. And then I would, especially during COVID, I would look back to see like, all right, so how many days has it been since I've had a day off?
Yeah.
And my longest stretch was like 7 years. I did 7 years where I was always doing something, whether it's a day job, whether it's a show, whether
like
it's
on a set. You never had like a Sunday off? Because I guess you do those Sunday shows, so that'll.
No, I was doing Sunday shows, but even then on Sunday, that would be my day to send my emails or edit stuff or make graphics. So I was always doing it. And that's the thing with comedy. It's not like, 8 hours a day you're going to work on comedy. And you do stuff, everybody, outside of the stage when it comes to comedy.
It's worse now. I was talking about this with Ray Harrington. Well, it was pretty funny because Ray was like, I wish I was a comedian I wish I was where I'm at now in like 2001. And he goes, because all you had to do was like be funny. And I go, yeah, but if that was me, I wouldn't even get stage time. He's like, yeah. He goes, I guess this is like coming from a place of privilege where I was like, it was way easier if you were like someone that would get picked up by the machine. You know what I mean? Or by
but you would have gotten picked up. You're a funny female.
I don't know.
You've been fine.
Yeah, but think about in 2001, how many like female comedians were you seeing? There were like 2 spots. No,
there was the same amount.
Not at a big level.
I think there's a lot more big ones now.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
I think that's partially because the platform's bigger in general.
That's what I'm saying, Frank. Though But that's what Ray is talking about, is like there was no room for that pool because there was no social media. The only way to find out about comedians was like see them on TV kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did comedy back then. I think it's very similar, be honest with you.
I think for me, if I remember what I was able to watch at that age versus what I'm able to watch now, there's way more women closing out rooms and getting airtime.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, I'm just talking about like if in 2001, let's say there was only 10 comedians and 1 female, that's 10%. If there's 100 comedians now and 10 females, that's still 10%.
Yeah, but I think it's more than 10. Like I think now it's like
the ratio is probably higher than it was 20 years ago, just because of the awareness of it.
Yeah, there's just different ways to find an audience. And in the past, you had to count on a booker to like make your audience for you.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm with Ray on that one. I wish it was 2001 again.
Well, like I don't blame Ray. I'm like, you would have done that. Like he did that late night spot, and I'm like, you would have been set. And now it's just like, all right, what else?
Now it got to the point where late night spots used to make you. If you got a late night spot, like when I started early 2000s, when you got a late night spot, that was it. You were set. You know, when you won the Boston Comedy Festival at that time, you were set. You were done. You know, and now it's like these guys. Like I know very funny comedians that have been on Conan, and they walk away, and it's they have that nice credit, but really they have a really nice video that they can send people to get booked. You know, and that's unfortunate that that's kind of the turn that it took.
I think I see both sides of it. Like I think that is unfortunate, but I also think then there's more, like it's slightly more of a meritocracy in the way of work, like work ethic, because I know comedians who are super funny on stage, but then they don't want to reach out to anybody, or they don't want to put themselves out there or like create content and do blah, blah, blah. And it goes both ways. Like there's some comedians who are great at making content, but then they can't run an hour and they're getting an hour at a club. And I don't know that they should get it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no,
of course, it's easy. I think it's easier to do that probably now than it's ever been.
So I didn't know, because
club owners and managers tell me like, this guy isn't funny, but he sells tickets, so that's why he's in the club.
Yeah.
You know.
Like working the system does seem like before social media and stuff, you just had to get out and work. You just had to go and do shows and be on the road or whatever. So hopefully if you were headlining a club, it's because somebody saw you and thought you should be.
Yeah.
But then the flip of that is it is hard to make it in social media also. Like that is a job.
Oh, of course.
It truly is. And that's why when I say like when I'm grateful that people come out to a show, and I'm grateful that people share our stuff and sign up for the Patreon and give us the reviews, that's what helps us out the most. Like we're not just saying it because that's what everybody says. Like it really
it's
does.
The truth. That's the currency.
Yeah, for sure.
The currency right now is a follow, a share. Like again, like shout out to Zane again. Like literally every Tuesday he shares our stuff like clockwork. Like he shares it even before I share it. So I'm like, he kills it.
Yeah,
like it's so regular. This morning or whenever it was, I saw the notification. I was like, does he have like an automated thing set up that just does it at like 8 a.m. every Tuesday or something? I know. I don't think there is an automated thing he could set up. It's just impressive.
More work than Frank does.
And Zane in the membranes.
I work for several minutes a week.
Funny, Katie, when I first, you know what? I don't get the Zane notifications. Like when he tags me and stuff.
You should get it.
I don't get it, and I can't share it to my story. But then
you definitely are tagged in it, so you got to check. What you need to do is go to your message requests. I bet they're every week.
They might be in there, but at first, when I first started seeing them, you were sharing them to the Wicked Funny page.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, Frank finally got a fucking Instagram.
You thought it was great. Frank, like working?
He changed his name to Zane. I even put in the podcast notes one day, I said, talk to Frank about why his name is Zane.
Oh my God.
What? Wait. You saw a little thing, assumed it must be me, then saw someone's name and picture and still thought it was me?
You really can't see the picture when it's shared. It's like a smaller picture.
I can see Zane's picture enough to know it ain't me.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to be hopeful.
That's really
I tried
funny.
to be hopeful that Frank did something.
Yeah.
I do all kinds of things.
You're really doing better. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it all in action.
It is like it is weird with the comedy stuff where it's like I heard I don't know who it was, some comic on a podcast say this, but like you need to not just be a comic, you also have to be a video editor and a content creator and a social media personality. You have to do it was on like it was a famous person, I think.
I say that shit all the time.
Well, I am specifically thinking of a sound clip of someone that isn't you.
A writer, a fucking
You're not wrong, Frank.
Graphics design artist.
I just talked to my friend Quinn and I are working on a podcast that's going to be launching in the next couple of weeks. And so in order to make it not overwhelm my life, we've been doing it for like a month and a half so that when it launches, I can still manage the schedule. You know what I mean? Because like we're that far ahead with graphics and clips and that kind of shit or whatever. But he has been he's so good at the podcast business end of it because he has two other podcasts that he does really well that have large followings and they're great and blah blah blah, but he is so bad at promoting himself for stand-up. And he goes, I'm thinking about just doing a TikTok video where I just say my jokes. He's like, but I just really don't want to do it. And I go, just fucking do it. It takes you 2 seconds. I go, what's it going to take you? A minute to record it? Because it was like a line. You know what I mean? And it was a funny line. And I go, I'm going to do my stupid Instagram ads videos that I do every week. And you go do yours. You'll be done well before I'm done. And he posted it and it was like 20,000 views. And I I screenshot it and sent it to him and I go, ooh, totally not worth that. Was that 4 minutes of effort.
Was that one of his first TikToks that he did?
He had been doing them for like a little while, but he wasn't doing the like just face the camera and tell my jokes kind. And he's so good at social media with stuff except for his comedy. And so he was like, he was like asking about, he's like, do you think I'm ready to ask for spots? And I was like, you don't ask for spots yet? And he's like, no.
Like where?
Just like everywhere with bookers and stuff. And I go, dude, every time I leave a show, I say, thank you so much. If you know anyone else that I should reach out to, I'd really appreciate it. And he's like, what? And then he did it. And like, and he messaged me back and he was like, dude, the person he's like, I got 2 more spots. I was like, yeah, that's how I go, what is wrong with you? Yeah. I go, comedy is like,
what's fucked up is like the people that should be messaging and asking for spots don't.
Yeah.
And little peek behind the curtain, everybody. I'm the talent coordinator at the Comedy Connection.
Do you want that out there? I would not.
I'll put it out there because at this point, I think everybody that knows. But I book a lot of spots at the Comedy Connection. The only thing I really don't book at the Comedy Connection are the weekend headliners. But you'd be surprised on the people that expect spots that they're not ready for. The amount of people that expect spots based on how long they've been a comedian. Sheer gross. We could do a whole episode where I just read the ridiculous messages that people send me.
I think also people think that when you say like, oh, I'll tell people like it took me a while to get into the connection. It took me a while. And they're like, yeah, I know. But dude, it's been 6 weeks. And I was like, 6 weeks? I'm like, I did a bringer and then I did a paid or pain and got paid. Then I hosted a bringer. Then for another 11 months, I messaged every 6 to 8 weeks with availability in a nice tone. And I go, so you've messaged once? I'm like, and that was to Corey and Dave. Like, I'm like, are you crazy?
Oh,
who run 2 businesses and are never not busy.
Yeah.
You'd be absolutely shocked as to what happens.
The sense of entitlement is bananas to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like I could see like something like if your best friend runs a show and you're like, man, you've never given me a spot. That's
my best friend. Whatever. I'd be like, bitch, put me on.
But it's like people are running a business.
Yeah.
And you think just because you've done something a certain amount of time, you should be hired to do a job. It's like I could practice carpentry every day. And if I'm a shitty carpenter, it would be insane for me to show up at Home Depot and be like, somebody needs to hire me. And if you don't hire me, it's because you're all working against me.
Yo,
it's fucking crazy.
Literally, as we're talking about this.
Did you get a message?
Somebody sent me a message a couple weeks ago. Like, hey, I'm new to the area. I'm looking to do spots. It was a nice message. I go, look, everything I have is booked up, but just message me in a couple weeks. And that's usually what I say. I'll put the ball in your court. You message me in a couple weeks. I'm not finding you. Then he goes, I would still love a spot. Here's my phone number. If you want to give me a spot, I can do weekends. And it's like, I have no clue who the fuck you are.
Also, it's like you can do weekends. That's like the time you want to.
It's like, those are all booked up right now, person I don't know. That's funny. Then I just put a thing in one of the comedian groups that we have, looking for a female, 15 minutes, March, whatever the show was.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I know I'm not a girl, but
oh my God.
But I would love a spot. If you have one, let me know. And it's like, now you're wasting my time. Yeah. I have to read that. And now, you're like, I get it. You want the spot. A ton of other guys want the spot. It's for a woman.
One of my friends ran a female-only show. I was just going to say, why didn't you ask me?
You're fucking booked, asshole.
All right, carry on. No, but one of my friends ran a female-only show, and she deliberately, it was great. She advertised to women. She filled the room with women. It was just a awesome show. And she goes, you would die at how many messages I got from men who were trying to sell it to her. She doesn't know how to run a show. They were like, okay, I know the whole thing is that it's Galentine's and it's women's only, and it's supposed to be a girls' night out and blah blah. But how funny would it be if me, a dude, came out in the middle of the show?
Fucking idiots.
And I was like, just let women have one show.
Yeah, it's a game.
It is so funny. But anyway, guys, long story short, we appreciate you because we are tired. We do, all of us work full time, and then we produce this podcast. I'm exhausted.
I feel great.
Frank feels great.
I'm sober. I got Adderall.
Yeah, okay. These are my other two problems, you guys. My psychiatrist switched me to long-acting Adderall, but he only gave me 10 milligrams. So I feel good from 7:30 until around 1 p.m. And then it's back to regular, Katie.
Yeah, and then it shuts off. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't have the epic decline like I thought I would have, but it's also just do I take short-acting Ritalin later, or do I just deal with having ADHD?
You should talk to him about
cocktail you're putting in your body.
I haven't been. That's my problem. So I just been
and this is why comedians die in hotel rooms. Just listen to that sentence Katie said casually with her doctor. Do I take this and then I take a little Ritalin and then maybe something else on top of it?
Yeah, but you literally. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but you could probably do that. But you should talk to him about just taking immediate release twice a day.
Well, we're working on it. This was a compromise because I
hate the extended release ones. I don't like it.
I'm okay with it. My friend that has it, she has 20 to 25 milligrams or something, and she was like, it's fine. But she goes, I like it way more than the 10. However, so what's been happening is I'm trying to navigate all of the work we have to do for this podcast, and then all of the work for launching a new podcast, and then taking a marketing workshop course, and then working full time. But I used to just power down during my lunch breaks. And also I decided I should start working out. And you know what? I should do that at 6 a.m. So why am I doing this to myself?
It's so much.
You might need to figure out how to keep things balanced.
We're doing this, and it's Katie's going in one direction, and I'm going in the complete opposite. Katie's piling on more shit, and I'm going, how can I lessen the shit that I have?
Yeah.
That's important too, though. Sometimes
it is. It is. Yeah. It's called balance. And I'm learning that.
But you know what I will say, you guys? I have no shows booked for the coming weekend, and that I would normally be asking around to try to get on spots, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not.
Do not. I want you
to enjoy it.
Some time.
Enjoy your time.
Katie, look at me and promise me
I promise, I'm not.
That you didn't even let me finish, Katie.
Oh, I
You
thought
didn't
you were
even know
gonna
what
say
the
that I
promise
wasn't
was
gonna
gonna
pick
be.
up a show. Okay, go ahead.
No,
What
It
I
is
was
it?
did
gonna
sound
say,
like you were gonna say that, Brian, in her
Yeah.
defense. I think we
Alright.
all thought that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah.
well, if he can speak,
Okay, go
Katie,
ahead.
I would like you to put special Katie time aside for
Okay.
you, to do what you want. Whether it's a movie, a bath, go get one of those
Masturbate,
Yeah.
masturbate, you
yell at
know,
Josh for no reason. That
yell
seems
at
fun.
Josh.
I
Just
like
that's
doing
it.
that.
And when he says why are you yelling, just say this is my Katie time, and this is how I'm choosing to
This
get
is
it
how I
done.
relax.
This is
But you
how
know
I
what?
relax.
Actually, shout out to Josh too, because for a lot of our relationship, I was making like all of our food, and I have just had like my days are booked to where like from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. I'll have 20 minutes of free time. Like 2 days last week, I just didn't shower, and I didn't realize it. I like
Living
went
that
to bed.
Frank life.
Yeah, I was. I was like,
Hell
"Oh my
yeah.
god." I was like, "I didn't shower today." And then I was like, "Oh, should I get out of bed and shower?" And I'm like, "No, I have to get up in 5 hours." Like, it's
Yeah,
so
it's bad.
stupid.
I totally relate, Katie. I've been there and I understand.
But shout out to Josh because he's been making all of my food for me and, like, um, just like, I come and making, like, good food. And then he's also been making me, like, breakfast in the morning, even when he doesn't have to get up. So, shout
That's
out to
really
Josh.
That's
nice.
great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Josh. Good on
I
you,
Fuck
probably,
Josh.
yeah,
like
Josh.
I probably coulda lost, like, 5 pounds if he didn't exist because I just would be eating, like, a
Wow.
piece of
Why do you gotta
toast,
bring it
but
to a negative place, Katie? Why?
You know, if he
I
died
can't.
several years ago in a car
Shout
accident,
out to
I'd be a lot
Josh
better off.
making me food, and it's been great that he makes me food. And you know what? I'm trying to fucking work out. You know why? Because I put on 5 pounds because that piece of shit keeps making me food.
I'll be I know, whoops.
Whoopsie daisy. And
But
now,
no, he's been
and
doing everything. Like, today I went to empty the dishwasher and I go, "Oh, wait, these aren't clean?" And he's like, "No, they're dirty." He's like, "I emptied the dishwasher and put the new dishes or whatever, like, put dishes in it." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm a new guy now." He's like, because he started he goes he's like, "I did the dishes, I cleaned the floors, I did blah, blah, blah." I was like,
wow,
"You're killing it." I'm, like, sucking right now.
that's nice.
That's great. Good
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah,
Good for him.
He's got some new
Wow.
leaves he turned over.
he did.
Yeah. I want to wish my buddy Nate a happy birthday. I did
Oh,
that. That's one
yeah.
of the things that I've been working. I've been trying to do more social things. I've been more
Wow.
outgoing, right?
Like what? What have you done? What's an outgoing thing?
I went to 2 dinners and a birthday party last week.
All for Nate?
Jesus.
No, not all for Nate.
Were you
Jesus
paid to be
Christ, I
there?
don't love him that much. No, and I wasn't even paid.
Wow.
I wasn't even paid.
That's pretty impressive. That is impressive for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredibly impressive.
2
right?
dinners, you said?
And a birthday party.
Like, were these dinners dates or were they?
You know what? I don't want to call them dates anymore because I feel like if you call it a date,
Frank looks
don't
so
roll your eyes. No,
exasperated.
hear me out. Hear me out. This makes sense, you guys.
I don't
right?
know.
Okay. What's one thing that stresses me out, right? Dating. Frank, why are you doing that?
Because I had a hair hanging down from my hat onto my forehead and I could see it in my camera thing and it made me mad.
I thought you were disgusted at me. Okay.
No.
No, that was earlier.
So
thought I'm wiping anger sweat from my brow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what and everybody's just been saying, just be yourself, right? Just be Brian Bowden, right? That's collectively, right? Jamie Lee said that. Quentin said that.
Yeah.
I talked to our friend Maurice. She said that, and not that nice of a way. She was very aggressive about it.
Marie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's her jam though. She
I miss her.
tells people like it is.
Oh yeah. She gives it to me straight. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go out for dinner. I'm not going to call it a date because if I call it a date and I go into it thinking it's a date, I'm going to put this weird feeling on myself to make it something different.
But
and I
also,
said, I'm just going to go
how
and be
did this
me.
dinner occur? Like, what are the circumstances of this dinner?
All right. So the first dinner was with somebody that a friend that's come to a bunch of shows. I met them at the Connection. They just came to a bunch of shows of the Connection. We started talking, and like maybe once a year we'll talk, and maybe once every other year we'll go out
Okay,
for
but it's
dinner
not a
just to catch
date?
up.
It's just like friends or something?
Well, that's the thing. I just want to call it going out for dinner.
What?
But then,
Why
so
call because if you call it a date, then it's not just friends. But if we go and I say it's friends, it's not a date either. It's like,
Well,
could it
I
be a date? I think so. I think if you go out and what, Frank? Why?
it's
that's
the
just
way it's the
that
way like you leaned as you were just talking, you leaned like toward the desk and put your elbow on it, and then you were like pointing and looking like up at the wall and from like behind the camera, so it looked like suddenly you were in like a college
You
professor
know what?
mode, and you're like, "Allow me to explain,"
Seriously,
but
I
you
was
weren't
looking at
explaining.
it was a picture of Zach and Kelly that
Jesus
I keep
Christ,
on
I
my
remember those cards. Wow.
chalkboard. Yeah, from the college
okay,
days.
but I don't
Um,
understand, for a lot of women and probably men, I feel like it's more stressful to just have these interactions without understanding what the context of them is.
Yeah, it might depend on what you mean by what you're saying.
Yeah,
Because,
like
like, if you're talking about just reframing something in your own head so you don't get anxious about it, and just saying like, "We're just going out to dinner," it's not like not thinking in terms of a date.
it's not a big deal.
That's one thing, and that's
yeah.
fine. But when somebody asks, when you say I went out to dinner with somebody, and somebody says, "Was it a date?" What they're asking is, "Did you go out to dinner because you're interested in each other?"
Yeah. Did you go out
Regardless
to
of what you want to
dinner
call it, you know?
exactly. Did you go to dinner with the intention of maybe starting a relationship or seeing if you're interested in starting a relationship?
Uh, no.
So you just went to dinner with a friend then?
Sure. If that's what you want to call it, yeah.
If
I
your
don't know.
friend, if this,
All right.
all right,
Let's say you're attracted to somebody, right? But you know it won't work out, right? Can you still call
Okay.
that a date if you go out?
Only if you're both agreeing that it's a date.
yeah, it's
Like,
only a date if you're both like, we're interested in each other, so we're gonna go out to like
yeah.
spend that kind of time together, get to know each other.
Otherwise, like,
Otherwise, you're just buddies.
yeah, you're a buddy with a crush.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like the way you two are looking at this.
Well, I mean,
there's no
like
other
normal people.
reasonable way to look at it than both people have to be in agreement about
Yeah.
the status of the date.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just hanging out with the buddy and you have a crush on your friend.
Yeah.
No. No.
There's a
Yeah.
yeah, Brian. Yeah.
Like
No.
what
What
I
other
think
scenario could you imagine there
I
existing?
think if you go out and there's potential to lead into something else. I'm not saying you have like if two people go out and they're both interested in each other, clearly that is a fucking date,
Yes.
right? But so like this person that I knew through the connection that came to the show. What, Frank? What?
Just go, just go. I'm just
do your
imagining what
thing.
you're gonna say, but go ahead. Just
Yeah.
keep going.
So let's say the person that I talked to that I knew with the connection, we go out and uh, it turns into something. Can you still call that a date? Even
You're
if you
gonna
go the route
backdate it?
yeah, like a back date.
You're gonna backdate the date?
You're gonna
I
backdate the date. I guess you
No.
backdate the date. That would be it. You go out first as friends, and then you backdate the date.
No.
well, it's the status is still the same.
It's
Like
still
the
you're just dinner. You're having dinner with your bud, and then later you have feelings for your bud that you once went to dinner with.
yeah,
Yeah.
if like
Can we
Brian, if
not
you and
say
I
bud like that though, Katie? Can we not say
no,
your
I feel
bud?
bud's a good word. Bud's a
Yeah,
good
you're
No,
word
going out
bud
with your
is
bud.
not a good word.
because it's like this. If you and I, Brian, went out to dinner, right?
Bud sound. I'm my dudes are buds.
Well,
That's
this
her
person
point.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her point of using the word. But look, if you and I went out to dinner, there would be no question that it was absolutely a date because I'm crazily attractive. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, but like it would clearly be platonic because we're not trying to fuck each other and we're not even curious about if we want to. You know what I mean?
Frank
Where
is so bad at telling jokes.
What?
that
Like
wasn't
when you let in with the
meant to
whole
be. It
attractive
was.
thing,
That's okay. What do you want to
it
do?
threw me off.
All
But
right.
So,
yeah,
Well, I'm
we
sorry,
but
yeah.
what Frank
but
is saying is like you guys are entering this dinner with both of you not having an interest in pursuing a further relationship outside of friendship.
yes,
But you're saying what you just did, Brian, was give yourself a way to not deal with your feelings about this person. Like you're just like, it's a date if they want it to be a date. Otherwise, it's just
No,
buds.
I would say the first one, not so much a date. The first one wasn't so much a date as to what you guys are describing as going out. I'd say that one was not. That was buds going out. The second one, I would say more of a date.
That's so confusing.
I know. Well, yeah, like it was a coworker, and we hadn't talked since like COVID. We decided to go out and catch up. Now, with this person, we didn't like see each other every day at work. We weren't not friendly with each other, but we weren't like attracted. You know, we never said we were attracted to each other either. So, what do you do in that situation when we go out? Where it's
that depends on what you're both feeling like. Are you guys hanging out because you've been flirting and you were like, oh, let's get dinners together? Or were you like, hey, I'd love to take you out to dinner sometime?
No, it was neither. It was like, let's just go get drinks and catch up.
So I would probably, again, just say that's friends.
Yeah, but if it had,
yeah, there might be a third category from what, because there is like the thing where it's like,
see, I'm turning Frank. See,
you're not turning.
But
no. 2 people are definitely interested. That's a date.
Yeah.
2 people are just buds. That's not a date. You know.
Yeah.
There's like the having a crush on your bud situation. That's a third one, I guess. That's just one person kind of in a shitty spot.
Has a crush on someone.
The other one, though, where you haven't said explicitly to each other it is a date, but you guys have been. But there's if in your head
flirtation happening.
Yeah, you're like, maybe this is something I might pursue. I don't know how she feels. Maybe she feels the same way. Then it's like
I don't know what we would call it.
It's not an official date, but it's like leaning that way.
Exactly.
It's like a potential date that's actually happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I go into that situation, a situation like that, and I call it a date, I'm going to be in my own fucking head.
Yeah.
So I just say go out to dinner.
All you have to do is have a good opener and then tell her hair looks ugly.
Yeah. Tell her about a fight outside.
Yeah.
Tell her the fight outside. Neg her.
Yeah, you
neg her.
Who paid for these dinners?
You do a neg at her.
Yes.
Exactly. So my question is, who paid for the dinners?
Oh, I did.
Okay. For both
Did
of them?
she try to pay for it?
Yes. Yeah, the second one was a whole fucking to-do. I got a reservation, and I when I got there,
you got reservations just to hang out.
I always get reservations, and I always put in the notes away from people. And then I do.
What's funny about that is you only need reservations when there are no seats away from people because the place is full.
As far away from people as possible.
Otherwise, you wouldn't need a reservation.
Yeah, you would just walk in.
Well,
okay.
Well, that's what I put.
It's like a Seinfeld bit.
Yeah,
there's people.
Sometimes when I did that at Cello's, that's how I got the baller seat on the deck that overlooked the fireworks, away from people.
But so you made a reservation.
I made a reservation. I show up and they said, "All right, we don't have a table ready. Do you want to sit at the bar?" Now I'm thinking, what would you think in that? You're thinking you're sitting at the bar waiting for your fucking table, right?
Like what?
Yeah, it depends on the kind of restaurant and how they word it.
Sit at the bar to eat. Is that
like instead of a table?
Josh and I always do that. We'll always sit at the bar instead of waiting.
Yeah, I don't want to wait.
Oh, so I'm thinking I'm waiting at the fucking bar, and that's a whole thing. Because now it's like, look, let's face facts. I got to work on social skills, which is why I got to go out more. And because I'm not good at talking to people. I don't have anybody around me.
So what ended up happening? Were you waiting and they thought you were having your dinner and then
they
you
thought
were
we
like,
were having the dinner, we were waiting. I got to talk to the bartender, and the lady next to us leans over and says something about tater tots. And I'm like, this is too much for my fucking brain to handle.
So what'd you have to do?
We moved to a table in the corner.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So, but then they had to send that check over. So she ended up getting that.
That's I think the host or the maitre d' or whatever you want to call it fucked that up because
usually
you got to be more clear.
They'll say they'll say if you want to eat right now, you can eat at the bar. They'll say that a lot.
Or I've heard people say, "Would you like to wait sit at the bar while you're waiting for tables?"
Yeah,
like they need to be clear about it.
Yeah, it wasn't very clear, so that was a whole thing.
Doesn't seem like it should have been though, does it?
It doesn't.
No.
No.
It doesn't.
Not
But
really.
So
How did
do
it
you
go
have
though?
plans? Yeah, did you like have fun?
yeah, it was a great time. Talked. There's nothing I love more than shutting down a restaurant and just talking and hanging out in a
Yeah.
quiet restaurant. Like as much as I don't go out, that's why I like Applebee's so much. It's fucking dead at night, half price
Yeah.
apps, baby.
There's a lot of restaurants that are quiet at night.
The half
Yeah, but
price apps
Applebee's.
is the best thing about Applebee's.
Do they play Nelly and Ludacris?
Maybe.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
bars you can go to and just get
Yeah.
snacks and stuff till pretty late.
Fuck
And
that.
you know.
There's people there.
Okay,
You know.
so are you gonna go to dinner again?
Yeah, we'd probably go out again.
Was there a follow-up text message?
Yeah, of course. There's follow-up text messages.
Was it like I had a really good time?
Had a great
last
time.
night.
Can't wait to do it again.
You know it. You know it. You know it.
And then
All
did
of
you
that.
follow up with making a plan?
No, not yet. No, I got a lot of stuff coming up. I can't have plans right now. I'm in Vegas. I got a week in Mohegan after that. I can't do anything for another.
Do you not know when those things are happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when they're happening, but it's like 3 weeks from now. I don't want to make plans 3 weeks in advance. It's very
What about
far
like
in
a
advance.
Wednesday?
Like next week?
There's no Wednesday. It's Overwatch night.
Oh yeah, that's insane, Katie. Jesus
Sorry, what was I
Christ!
thinking?
I cannot not play Overwatch.
It's like you hit your head or something.
What was I thinking? Connect with a real person that has
Ugh.
breasts
I connect with 5
gross.
people when
on
I
a
play
video game
Overwatch,
night.
and we work together and
We're a family.
cohesiveness to overcome fucking
Bad
obstacles.
guys.
It's teamwork building, and it's very
Sometimes
social.
It's
and
time to leave the nest, though, and talk to people in real life.
Oh,
No, not on a Wednesday.
I did. And then Nate's birthday party, which was great. It was the best 10-year-old birthday party I've ever went to. We had pizza and then went bowling. It was
There you
it
go.
was like a 10-year-old birthday.
That's pretty
party.
good.
Yeah, and I didn't plan on bowling. We were just going to go to the bowling alley and get drinks.
Okay.
And I had pitched Applebee's, and everybody was on board until
someone realized what you said, and they were like, "Oh,
I was
no."
like, "Let's go to fucking Applebee's, everybody!" And everybody was on board until Nate's like, "Oh, we can just go bowling next door because it's his fucking birthday. We had to go next door."
Did you not have like a plan or something?
No, the plan was just to have a couple more drinks with my friends and hang out. I had to tell a speech.
Then
That
somebody
a
was
thing.
like, "Let's wait our turn a whole bunch and bowl."
Yeah.
You had to do
Yeah.
a speech?
Yeah. Well, they had asked me to do a roast. They're like, "Can you roast Nate?" And I'm like, "You do not want that at all. You do
no.
not want me to show up at this fucking party and roast because it's not going to be fun for anybody except for
That'd be
me
awful. Yeah.
and like our
I don't even know if it would be fun for you.
I don't think that would be fun.
That would not be a
honestly.
good. That
I
would
don't
not
even
be a
like
good
inviting
idea.
people I know to actual like big shows, much less standing in a room roasting my friends.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
think that only
horrendous.
works if your friends are comedians that will also say something sassy back
Yeah,
to you.
exactly.
Otherwise,
So
it's just like not fair.
You're
And
just
then
like,
you're
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at you, dumb fucking moron. It's just
Yeah,
real-
like you have a
just
funny
comes
joke.
across real mean.
Like you have
Yeah.
a funny joke about something super personal, and they're like,
exactly.
"What?"
I told you that in confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Only my therapist knows about it.
exactly. And you're like,
It would have
"Oh."
been so bad.
You're like, "Oh, Nate, you got to tell me what's not touchable."
Yeah.
Why didn't you go over the material that I can't talk
Yeah.
about?
Oh, they said no limits, so Eddie went no limits. But then I get there, and Nate's mom comes up to me, and she goes, "I want to hire you," and I go, "I'm not roasting anybody. I can't do it."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Just give a speech." And I had eaten an edible, and then I started drinking, and I forgot that I had eaten the edible. And then they go, "Brian, you have to give the speech," and I fucking rambled like an idiot.
They mix
giving
weird
the speech.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Alcohol
it
and
was
edibles.
not good, and I'm not used to talking in a serious manner, So
Yeah,
I
it's
had to,
very
like,
different.
Throw in the jokes, yeah.
I had a doctor retired at my job, and he had been there for a really, really long time, and he was very roastable. And he ended up marrying another physician, or a PhD, I think she was. But this was like his third marriage, and this woman like was very serious and like put him in his place, and like he is a millionaire, And she was like, "You're gonna wear this to," like, she made him be, like, sophisticated, you know what I mean? Like, when he was dating after his second divorce, I would go over the, menus at places and be like, "You can't order this dish." Like, if she watches you eat this, you will not get a second date. And,
Wait, is that a real thing that people think about and do and act
Yes,
on?
women will not
yes,
date a guy because they're not a specific height.
No, but I
Yeah.
mean, like, I guess I've had that thought, but I never really thought that was a reality where it's like, you're going out with a girl, if you order the blah, blah, blah,
It's
that
not
shit's over.
it's not the sake of, like, it's not for the reason of the dish itself is gross, it's just, "I've seen you eat this dish." She
Oh,
will
that's kinda
not,
funny.
yeah, like, that kinda
Alright.
thing.
Yeah, okay.
Like, one time in chart rounds, he was leaning back really casual, and I think he was being, like, confident, he was, like, confident cool, and he was leaning back, and he started fanning himself with, like, a Tupperware top, but it had sauce on it, and it was spritzing himself with the sauce, and
That's pretty funny.
I died, like, I lost my mind dying. So that's, and I, like, laughing, and I was like, we had to, like, hold chart rounds for like 10 minutes because I was like, I'm fucking dying, I'm dying, I can't even talk right now, and I, like, explained why I was laughing, and everyone starts laughing, and it's just, like, so funny. But so he had, like, a fancy going away party, and everyone was giving, like, his wife gave a speech, and then I was just like, they kept joking, they were like, "We want you to roast him," and I was like, "No, I won't do that, blah, blah, blah." So I had, like, 3 glasses of wine, or maybe, like, 6 or whatever, and I get
It's pretty similar. It's pretty
the
similar.
party's going, and I go, "You know what? I'm just gonna go up there," and I went up there and gave, like, a sweet speech, but that roasted him, and everyone was like, "You have to do it." Long story short, if you're gonna be roasting, it has to be with, like, so much love and so, like, gentle,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
That's what I did. I just pushed
Yeah.
Nate and photography. I just pushed the
Yeah.
photography thing, and I'll say it on the podcast. Nate and Alyssa photography, Nate and photography. Go find Nate and photography, Nate and photography, and that was pretty much the speech that I gave.
Was it?
And then,
Well,
and
that's
then
good.
bowling, I turned into a fucking animal. I didn't plan on bowling because I know how I get, and I'm very competitive, and I knew that we were there for a social thing. We were there to be together for a birthday party, not to bowl. And I knew that if I
Okay.
was going to bowl, I would have made it about the bowling. And everybody's getting ready to bowl, and I'm like, guys, I'm not going to bowl. I might just throw a couple here and there. And then Nate looks at me and he goes, "You're the master of all the games you play." And I said, "Fuck it. I want to go get high. Give me a lane and some shoes." I came back and I was fucking dialed in. I was dialed in, right? And I'm just in the zone, right? I'm in the zone, and then I began to just hate myself for who I became because I was so competitive.
You're, like, pointing at people's faces, screaming at them.
Yelling,
"This is why your parents don't love you!"
Yeah.
It was fucking insanity. And I was just I was on fire. I was getting spare, strike, spare. And then I fucking go to bowl and I face planted. My foot caught the fucking ground. I face planted. And I went head first down the alley.
Oh my god.
I know.
Wow.
Imagine if somebody that I had a crush on was there to witness this. And lo and behold, she was there to see the whole fucking thing go down.
Oh, Christ.
It was crazy.
Did she laugh?
Fun. I think yes, everybody had a chuckle, and then there was a look of concern.
I think I would have died.
Yeah, I would have been hospitalized.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But then I got a spare. I got a gutter ball and then got a strike to get the spare on the fucking frame, and it was great. And but yeah, I didn't like who I was bowling. I didn't like it, but I won. But I fucking won.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. So.
But you were an absolute maniac.
Yeah, it was bad. At one point, my buddy Chris comes up to me and he goes, "I bet you $10 I beat you." And I said, "Fuck you." I said it. I go, "Fuck you." All right.
Okay.
And then
that is an aggressive. Fuck you is an aggressive move.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah.
you. I leaned in hard F. Even spit came out. I didn't give a fuck. And it got to the point. He's on his lane. I'm on my lane. Right. He gets a fucking spare, and he looks at me and he goes, "There you go. Catch up." And I go, "I'm gonna." and I rolled the ball. I turned around. I go, let me know how I do. And I fucking got a strike, and it was the best. It was the best fucking moment. So fuck Chris. He owes me $10 as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
So yeah, shout out and see how fired up I got just talking about bowling. Imagine if it was ping pong, something I was good at. Anyway,
how often do you play ping pong?
Enough to whoop your ass.
Okay.
See?
Sure.
It's ping pong, air hockey.
It's just very aggressive.
If it's like sport related, but not the actual sport, I'm fucking great at it. Like, I'm not good at basketball, but if you put me on one of those hot shot arcades, I'm fucking racking up shit. Just getting a nice rhythm. Wow.
That's how the pros train, before big games.
Mm-hmm.
They go to a Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's where it's at, man. Probably see me on a date at the Dave & Buster's.
Or a pseudo not quite date where you're hanging out with somebody that you've been flirting with, but you're like, nah, it's not a date.
Exactly. See?
Yeah.
And then you fall.
Perfect. Yeah. Well,
how face planted were you? Was it like no limbs were involved in catching yourself?
Frank, it was flat out. Like,
was your arm out with the ball in front of you?
My arm was extended. Everything. It's whatever you're picturing right now. Brian Bowden, picture the Michael Jordan symbol. Right, that was me on the bowling alley.
I'm picturing like if the ball was crazily heavy and attached to your hand, how it would just pull you forward and you fall on your face.
That's exactly what happened. And while I was on the ground, I'm going like this to push the ball over. It was so bad.
What did your crush say?
She asked if I was okay, and that was it.
Okay.
That was it.
What level of crush is this?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you would...
Is it like, you know her really well, and like you've had a crush on her for a while, or is it just like, oh, she's just this cute girl that's around sometimes?
No, I've had a crush on her for a while. I told her. Yeah.
You told her?
Yeah.
You told her?
How does that
conversation
sound?
No, I just said, look, I had a crush on you for a while. Here's why. And that's it. And I just kind of left it at that. I didn't ask. I think she took it as me asking her out.
Okay.
And I wasn't. And I think I'm open to it, but I'm not. It wasn't like, hey, be my girlfriend, or hey, let's go on a date. It was, look, I have feelings, and here's what they are, and that's it.
Okay.
And there wasn't any like
and
follow
then nothing
up?
came of it? Yeah.
No, really no follow up. I mean, it went exactly how every friend zone situation goes. But that's
she
it.
was just like, thanks for letting me know.
Thanks.
I'll put it in my calendar.
Wow, not seeing anybody right now. Bye.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. What else are you gonna say? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a tough thing.
Yeah. But
you didn't even like ask her, like, do you like me too?
No.
Do you want to maybe get food or a coffee?
No.
You were just like,
do you want to go
put that in your pipe
dinner?
and smoke it.
No,
see you later.
It was like, no, like, yeah, just here's how I feel, and that's it. Like, if you feel the same, like if she felt the same way, she could have said it. I'm sure she would have if she did.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like I was putting her on the spot or anything like that.
When did this happen? Were you like drinking?
No, it was actually. No, it was like.
I'm just curious, like, because a lot of times that comes out when you're like drinking.
That is true.
It was a really clear-headed decision at like 9 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was.
Wait, do you work with this person?
Oh,
okay.
No. But yeah, it wasn't anything like what?
You were just like, hey, like, was this over text or was this
Of course it was over text. What are you
Oh,
in
say
okay.
that to
person?
somebody?
I thought you
Come
like
on.
sat someone down, looked him in the
Me
eye, and was
too.
like, "I've
Me
had a crush on
too.
you for a while.
That's weird.
All right, see you later," and then you just
Yeah.
walked away.
I don't think I could ever do that
Yeah.
again. I did that once and it was the worst. It was like it was brutal. It was brutal. At least with a text message, you can like sit in it for a little bit. And it's like, all right, whatever.
Then you give them the chance to pretend they didn't get the text. Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
here?
yeah. You say,
That's polite.
yeah, yeah. You can process it a little bit.
And then, like, did she answer soon, or was it like?
Yeah, she answered soon. Yeah.
What did she say?
Yeah, like how over
Was
a
she
text,
like,
what do you?
"Thanks"?
Yeah,
No,
like what
just
do you
like
say over text? If it was me, I would have just written back, "Haha, that's crazy."
That's awful.
that's really bad, Katie.
That's like kind of that would hurt my feelings, I think.
What else are you supposed to say though?
Well, that I don't know, but if someone went,
Okay,
"Ha ha,
let's
that's
review.
crazy," I'd be like, all right, well, I'll just go fuck myself, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys, let's say you were friends with someone and they and you have no attraction to them, and they confess that they have a crush on you, how would you over text message on a random 9 a.m.? How would you respond?
If I wasn't interested, I would say, it's
Go
really
for
nice
let's go
of
in
you to.
turns.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So Frank, you want to go first?
I would just be like, "That's very nice of you to say that, and I'm sorry, I don't feel that way. I just think of you as a friend." I would just address it straight up and say
Wow, I
thank
think
you.
that's worse
Okay.
than Katie's. at least Katie's, as sarcastic as it is, when you read it, it doesn't come off sarcastic and so direct.
That's crazy though. Would make me think like,
it's just
wait,
like,
why is it crazy?
Wow, that's crazy. It's like, all right, she's into me.
That's what you would think.
I would. It's
Brian
definitely not a negative thing,
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing.
It's not
crazy.
No, it leaves the door open.
Okay,
it leaves the door open.
So this is good for me because I got a message that I haven't answered, which I probably just won't answer it. But it was some dude that I like matched with or something, from online dating. Like before I met my ex before Josh, I think. And he messaged me and said, "Man, kicking myself for not asking you out back when I had the chance. Hope you're well." And I noticed that he had followed me on Instagram, or must have at some point, because he was like liking posts. And I remember I was like, what? Like, I was like, do I know this person? And I was like, whatever. And then I saw that message. I was like clearing out my message requests. And he's like, "Oh, kicking myself for not asking you out back then. Hope you're well." And I was just like, okay, like I don't know. You know what I would write back?
I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, that's a weird. Yeah,
exactly. I just didn't answer.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the appropriate response for that.
In general, I think with a guy, it's like when you look at the creepy corners, those are the crazy ones where they don't take no for an answer. But in general, a normal guy, unless a woman makes it very clear, if there's any way it could be interpreted as like there's a chance, their guy's probably going to be like, "Oh, maybe she's into me,"
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, I don't want to write back like, "Haha, too bad," because I don't mean like, I don't want it to read like, "Haha, it
Sucks
is
to be
too
you,
bad.
dummy."
Yeah,
Let's keep talking." Or I didn't want it to be like, "Haha, too bad, loser." And then I also didn't want it to be me being like, "I'm happy with my boyfriend," and then have him think that's the only reason I'm not trying to go after you or whatever. I was just like, I don't even really know who you are. Like,
ha-has and LOLs and stuff are tough because it lightens it so
know.
much that it almost makes it positive.
And for women, when we're like, I'm trying to write a joke about this because I said it like in a throwaway line in another set where I was like, women are really good at communicating. Brian, you were at that show. Remember when that woman kept getting all those messages from men from that one guy who was like obsessed with her, and we read it out loud. And I was trying to make this into like an actual bit where I was like, yeah, women are like really good at communicating our feelings, because like when someone's really bothering us, we write back things like, haha. Like we don't know how to say like fuck off and die. Like we're just like, ah, that's crazy.
Ha can be encouraging.
Yeah, and you know what happens? Yeah. A lot of times when women do send that, hey, you know, not for nothing, I don't want to talk right now, I'm not seeing anybody right now. It turns into that fuck you, you're a bitch, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You also don't want to fuck up your day with a conflict in the middle of it.
You know, shit like that.
I know.
You've seen all that come out. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough.
Everybody,
well,
guys, let us know the best way to, what is it, friend zone somebody?
Let someone
Katie?
down.
How do you let someone down?
Do you know there's some people who are mad about the term friend zone because they feel like guys use it as like, they use it as a way to describe something that's happened to them. Like, oh, the woman friend zoned me. Meaning like she's doing something bad by not liking you.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we all know I have strong opinions on the friend zone. And and what it is.
That's almost more like the universe is doing it to you, I feel.
You know what? We can talk about it more on the Patreon too, because I do think, and we can also, because I was thinking about that, and I think I came up with like what I think is like an actual example of friend zoning that is something negative that someone does to someone. But then I think there's other versions where they're just like, oh, I'm sorry, they're not into you. You know what I mean? But we can talk about it on the Patreon.
And I have a really good thing that happened to me too. That kind of connects all this. So let's go to Patreon. We'll do it all. Katie, send us out. Tell us everybody where to go. I'm going to make a cup of coffee.
Guys, thank you so much for sharing our crap, loving us, being good pals to us, and we love you guys. So thank you for sharing the episodes in your Instagram stories, tagging us in them. We love it so much. We're so appreciative. Like we complained about for 14 minutes. The job is not just writing jokes and making podcasts. It's like we also have to do all this crap. So when you share it for us, it warms our rotten little hearts. And
it really also does, you guys.
Yeah. It really does. Go make your coffee. So be sure to check out the Patreon, because I think now we're closing in on the time where we do have to sign up for March Madness. I don't know what the fuck Brian's doing over there, but it's March Madness time, you guys. Head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/wickedfunnypodcast, and you guys can follow us on all the socials at Wicked Funny Podcast. And we love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.